Hello, Hathorians, and welcome to a very special episode of Leadership Forum. Today, we actually have more than one person on screen today. We've got the lovely Diego, our CMO, and we also have Jan, CEO and co-founder of Hathor Network. It's great to have you both here. How are you both doing today?
Very good. Very tired because I guess we've been working a lot this past few days and weeks, but very, very happy and excited.
Hello, Nelly. Thank you for having me here. It would be a pleasure to join you too.
Thanks for stopping by. What we're going to do today is I'm just going to quickly summarize. We're going to be talking quite a lot. It might be quite a long episode, but we'll try and go in and out of different various topics. The first, we'll just start with the obvious. It's the one that's on everyone's lips. At the moment, to give you guys some context, you probably have seen that a countdown's happened over the last week. And by the time you watch this video, the countdown may have ended. But where we're at now, it's still going on. And a lot of things are happening, a lot of exciting things in the background, really nice design and a great plan put together by the C levels, Diego and Jan. Look, I'll start with Jan actually. Jan, nano contracts. We know that nanos are a key enabler for Web3 and DeFi. And as time goes on and as we announce the new era, which has now just gone on our socials over the past week, a lot of other things are to come. But let's start with nanos. Tell us why nanos is a key enabler for Web3 and DeFi. Yeah, we'll go from there. Let's start from here.
Yeah, I mean, when we started Hathor, we had this mission of making blockchain easier to use, and we saw a lot of the barriers that were happening and still happen. So, we decided first let's enter what we now know as the RWA market, but at the time we didn't have this buzzword, let's say. And we now, come to the point where we think it's, let's say, prime time, a very good moment to enter the more Web3 degen space, and nano contracts are a very important milestone towards this goal. I wouldn't say they are the only ones. There are a lot of stuff we're going to do. We're going to be talking about this, but definitely nano contracts, they are a key milestone towards this goal, which basically they're going to, enable a lot of people, a lot of developers, people who are not specializing in Web3 development to build Web3 products. Because let's face it, we have to admit it. If we want to make the situation better, we have to acknowledge that the solutions are still not great, right? There's still a lot of problems in smart contract development. Things have improved a lot over the past few years, of course, but we're still a long way to reach a point where we can say that's okay. We're in a good position, and I think nano contracts they tackle a lot of the problems that we have with smart contract development. So I think it's a very good opportunity to bring Hathor into the Web3 DeFi space, enable people to build truly decentralized applications. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting moment and see what kind of applications people are going to be able to build, to be creative and come up with. I mean, we already have a lot of other products being created in the crypto market. So I mean, obviously, we'd love to see all those being ported to Hathor. But if we can tap into a more broader, a broader audience with nano contracts, I think we can have even more innovative products being built.
Yeah, if I may add there, Neil, I think it's a very exciting moment for us, the Hathor team, and for sure for all the community, right? Because we are about to step into a new era. We're going to embark in a new chapter of the Hathor history, and it's good to see everybody fully energized. The community is also fully energized and really keen and willing to see what's coming next. And I cannot hold myself to share all the good stuff and the massive 360 campaign that we're about to present to all of you guys.
You're teasing us right now. I'd love to hear more about that 360 campaign. I'm going to wrap up on nanos with Jan, and I know you're going to take us through that in a bit. But yeah, I can't agree more. I was on the Twitter space earlier with Jan, and we couldn't even say much. I wanted to blurt it all out. So it's great that Diego and I we work closely in the marketing side. Diego has put together something truly genius, and I'm looking forward to him sharing it later on in this call. But going back to the subject of nanos, you know, we know that nanos internally is something that is a game changer when it comes to the wider crypto ecosystem of where it can take a part. But Jan, I just want to ask you, what sets nano contracts truly apart from other solutions in the market?
Yeah, there are, let's say, two major challenges that smart contract development still faces. I'd say one is they are hard to develop. They're kind of interconnected, to be honest. They're very hard to develop. You need specialized developers, and connected to that is that there's a lot of stuff you don't see, you're not aware of. So if you bring your, let's say, traditional development mindset into the Web3 space, Solidity development, you are likely gonna, create some mistakes. And since we're talking about, blockchain, they are very permanent in state. They may be very costly, as we've seen with a lot of, exploits and hacks. So, nano contracts are going to bring this simplified, development process. They're written in Python. Python, for those who are, you don't even have to be technical, to be honest. I think Python nowadays is the language of choice in major universities for the initial development courses. So it's a very user-friendly language, and that already reduces a lot of the barriers for people entering into Web3. Not only that, nano contracts, they present, let's say, a reduced interface for people who are interacting with contracts. So you don't need to understand deeply what's going on under the hood in order to develop a contract. You can be more confident when you launch your project without having to worry that, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, kind of in the blockchain internals, are going to come back to kind of haunt you. So I'd say that those are, at the protocol level, big challenges. And also, there are some very interesting innovations, to be honest. This one I'm very excited about. We know that MEV, maximum extractable value, it's a big problem in Web3, especially in DeFi and DEXs. And we know that it kind of robs people from the best trade. So whenever you're going to make a trade on a DEX, you might not get the best price. You're going to see a quote on screen, and once it gets executed, actually, you're going to end up with less tokens than you expected. And a lot of that is due to MEV. And what we came up with is a very different, very simple, to be honest. I mean, after it's done, it's simple, right? But it's a very innovative solution to protect users from MEV. So we have, some text written about it. I invite you all to read more about it. But basically, we are not allowing the block producers, which in Hathor's case are the miners, to determine the order of execution for nano transactions, which is usually how MEV happens, because the block producers, they determine, okay, this transaction is going to be executed first, and this later, and this later, and they can kind of front run you your orders. And basically with Hathor, we're not going to allow that. The transactions are going to be they're going to be kind of shuffled before they're executed. So there's no way the transactions can be manipulated, and for the end user, this means that their orders are not going to be front ran or anything like that. The block producers cannot manipulate it. So it's again, now that it's kind of we developed it, it seems like very simple, but it's a very innovative and ingenious way of solving this problem. So this one I'm very excited, and we have other ones that we're going to be talking about, but I just wanted to highlight this one in this initial part of the conversation.
I think that in at least I remember when Jan was presenting to me the idea, I was really fascinated because it was a very concrete example of how Nano is not just enabler, but also can complement from our novel architecture and deliver something that is truly competitive. It's extremely powerful. This will bring a lot of benefits for traders. I think that we were discussing yesterday, and it was like $1.3 billion
Yeah.
that are not lost, but are not in the hands of the traders because of the issues with MEV. So being able to solve this and kind of in a native way, easily because of our technology, it's really powerful. I'm sure that we will have Marcelo in the next leadership forum talking more about this. But it's really great to hear that.
Yeah, well, both of you, thank you for diving a bit deeper. I think that's the first time we've probably ever spoken about nano contracts in more detail, including MEV and front running protection. So thanks for giving that. And I guess we've just put out a thread this week about MEV as well. You can read about it. A lot of our socials have changed. They're a lot more fun and upbeat, which is really nice to see, and the community love it. So guys, do check out the thread about MEV and front running protection. And yeah, while we're on that topic as well, and before we move on to the next one, I've got quite a long list of things to ask you guys. Jan, you dropped by a Telegram community yesterday just to say hello to everyone. The group's been very thriving and busy this past week with, of course, market condition changes, loads of different things, and it seems like, the new era for Hathor is coming at a really nice time. You spoke about a tokenomics update. Did you want to just quickly touch on what you announced in the group, just so that we have it here as well as instead of just on Telegram as well, and that it's on some leadership from you directly.
Yeah, just sure. It was basically that, a lot of people were concerned about the token vault unlock happening in January 2020, so we decided to push it 6 months further down the road because, we've been way below the unlock curve, let's say the tokens we've used that's from the pre-mine. So we don't need these tokens at the moment, to be honest. So to make sure that this is not going to distract or harm us during this relaunch and all the very interesting and engaging activities that we're going to do. So we decided to postpone it, this unlock, and we can make a decision later. So yeah, that was basically it. But now that you touch on tokenomics, I think, and since we're talking about nano contract as well, I think it's important to talk about, how nanos are going to impact a bit of the economics of Hathor Network, because Hathor has been feeless since its inception, and it's a very big differentiator for us. With our feeless transactions. With nano contracts, for the first time, we're going to introduce fees. It might be a kind of a very sensitive topic to talk about, but I think we were able to hit a compromise. It's going to be very interesting. So basically, we're going to have some fees when you execute a contract. Obviously, they're going to be very low, very competitive. It's not like you're going to be paying, $10 to execute a trade on a DEX and nothing like that. It's going to be very cheap. But what's interesting here that I think, I was working on this and we're discussing is transaction fees nowadays. There are a lot of other platforms with very low fees, but it's still a UX, a user experience problem, because when you need to pay fees, you need to have the chain's native token. So that represents a big barrier a lot of times. So, I think stable coins, for instance, they are one of the doorways into crypto. A lot of people are using stable coins, and then, okay, they purchase stable coins, and when they're about to send them, they find out that, oh, I need a different coin, like a different token, to be able to send them, because they have to pay for the transaction fees in the native token. So for us, the fees, a lot of chains, they are low. Actually, they're also going to be low, but we wanted to make sure that this is not a problem. So we've come up with some interesting solutions to this. People are going to be able to pay fees with different tokens. They're going to have, flexible fee payment options. So apart from being able to pay for fees with different tokens, so if you have USDC, you'll be able to pay with USDC, but also there's going to be what we call a prepayment option. So the smart contract itself, the nano contract, sorry, it can have some, hold some HTRs that are used to pay for the fees. So, the users, let's say, of a DEX, the DEX owner, they can load up, top up this nano contract with HTR, and then the users don't have to pay any fee, or they can just, let's say, split the cost. So, we did this so we can remove this adoption barrier that we see that's a very, very big one. To be honest, it's even though the fees are low, it's a really major adoption barrier. So with Hathor, you're going to have this very flexible fee option, which is one thing that I think it's very innovative about the fees that we're introducing. And the other part is okay, what's going to happen with these fees? Because we don't have fees for transactions, so miners already do not receive transaction fees. So what's going to happen for the transaction fees from Nano contracts? So there's going to be two categories. First one, 70% are going to be burned, so they're going to be put out of circulation. And the remaining 30%, they're actually going to be paid to the developers of the blueprints. So when you have a blueprint, when you have a Nano contract, you have a blueprint, which is the code itself. A Nano contract is actually like an instance of this blueprint. So let's say we have a liquidity pool blueprint. You can have several Nano contracts that are initiated using the same blueprint, for different trading pairs. So with the fees of Nano contracts, actually 30% of them are gonna go to the blueprint creators. So again, in the DAX example, all the fees generated by the DAX are actually gonna go to the blueprint creators. Well, the 30% of them. So we're doing that to incentivize people to create high quality blueprints, to incentivize developers, because we understand that's a major challenge of any chain is attracting developers. And we already have Python, a very easy to use language, but we want to sure have more incentives for people to come and build on Hathor Network.
Again, this is great to hear, right? How nano contracts coming to the implementation phase, it's managing to still always bring solutions to make things easier, right? Always simplifying things, making everything available to everyone. So I'm sure that people will love this.
Look, I think it's flexible fee payment options, and also like empowering the devs, rewarding the developers with the tokenomics. As Jan just mentioned, a 70% burn, 30% goes back to the devs creating these blueprints to control the inflation. I think it's all great stuff and very different to what we see in the market. Usually, layer ones or other protocols would generally just collect fees to upkeep and monetize the network, whereas what Jan's just announced today, it just goes to show it's actually creating an extra stream or extra incentive for the devs, which we believe are important for the growth of any type of chain which you're building on. Because at the end of the day, we're fertile land. We want the farmers to build and create and so on. So I feel like it's an amazing way to not only apply fees but actually give back. And like you said, 70% to 30% burn and incentives for the devs is a great thing. So thanks for touching on that. Thanks for that alpha. It's really good. And while we wrap up the topic of nano contracts, now Jan, you've just announced that of this flexible fee structure, and it probably will get a lot of devs going about, oh, how can I build a blueprint, or what can I do next? Where can our next wave of developers or our community developers we have at the moment learn to create and deploy their own nano contracts?
Yeah, first, our documentation website is now updated with all the information they need. We have a Nano section there with all the different articles telling you where you can learn more about Nano contracts, the internals. You can learn more about setting up a development environment. You can learn more about submitting your own blueprint to the network. I think it's also important to mention that we are launching the Nano testnet. So, I mean, it's a test net. We're testing a lot of stuff, right? So, you can expect that there's going to be heavy development on it. Where we hope that we get a lot of feedback from the community. We want to hear you guys out. A lot of testing. I'm sure that we're going to find things to improve. So, but yeah, our documentation website is the place to go. We have a lot of tutorials, a lot of guides there. I myself recorded this week a guide on how to use our desktop wallet to test your local development setup. So that's there on our documentation website.
Diego, did you want to add anything there?
No, I just wanted to say that in following minutes we're going to present a lot of incentives to devs. So I'm sure that we will be able to really accelerate our ecosystem growth, and I'm happy to see that we're going to test a lot of stuff that at the end of the day are going to end up building a very, very strong product, and I'm sure that people will love it.
since we're wrapping up onto the subject of nanos and moving on to what else is coming, let's discuss the next phase of this call, which is the roadmap ahead, which is the road ahead. So uh, now let's talk about what's to come. So I've now kind of mentioned it and you guys probably already have seen the landing page by now, but a roadmap is coming. Without me talking too much on it, because I can blurt everything out of my mouth now. Jan, did you want to just start by introducing what's coming?
Yeah, I mean, I have to make sure that I'm not going to forget anything, but we have quite some stuff lined up. The EVM bridge, we already talked a lot about it in the past. So it's in the final stages of testing, so it's going to fit nicely in this moment. Um, One other stuff that we recently started is the MetaMask Snaps integration. So we already have the Wallet Connect integration on the Hathor Play, which is now on our wallet as well, on the official wallet. But we are also doing the integration with MetaMask Snaps, which for us is going to represent, let's say, a larger audience. And we all know that MetaMask is one of the main wallets out there. They have a really good protocol for developers, let's say. So you're going to be able to send and receive ACR, execute Nano contracts, all using MetaMask Snaps. So, that one I'm very excited about. There are other couple ones that we're gonna do. One that's gonna be, let's say, also a big change is the transaction model, the new transaction model that we're gonna introduce. So we're gonna introduce a new transaction type where you don't have the token deposit. So coming back to our, let's say, the current original transaction that happened, they're feeless, very fast, and you have to do a 1% deposit from ACR when you want to create a token. So if I want to create 100 Young coins, I need to deposit one HDR. We noticed that this is a barrier for a lot of projects. So let's say a meme coin, they want to create a billion tokens. So you have to, she would deposit quite a lot of HDRs. And so we're launching this new transaction type that you don't have to do the initial deposit, but you do have transaction fees. Those transaction fees, they can be paid in HTR, or the token creator can also select another token that's going to be used to pay for the fee. So let's say if I'm using Young Coin, I could set that, okay, the fees here, they can be paid in HTR, or they can be paid in, those are tokens. So yeah, this is a change I think is going to enable us to onboard a lot of different types of projects, especially that required a large mint initially. So I think this is gonna be very interesting to see what people are gonna create. And another one that's also interesting is the EVM and WAS compatibility. So we want to make sure that other projects that have been developed already on other chains, they can easily port into Hathor, so you can deploy your, let's say, Solidity smart contract directly without making any changes. So we're going to make sure that Hathor is, let's say, compatible. The specifics are under, let's say, study how we're going to implement it, but our end goal is that you can just bring your products, all the smart contracts that are created already on other chains, and you can deploy them in Hathor and make use of our network and all the benefits that we have here. So these are a few of the let's say more direct and the ones that we plan on developing fairly in the near future. But we also have some other ones, some other innovations that are on the pipeline. Already talked about one of them, which is the NV protection. So again, we have a solution at the protocol level on how to prevent NV and making sure that kind of the alpha stays with the end users. And another one, which is very interesting, and I say there's a buzzword in this moment in crypto, which is the intents. A lot of people are talking about intents here, intents there. A lot of people honestly don't understand what they are, but they are a very interesting architecture, which I think is going to greatly reduce the friction, improve the UX, and even reduce transaction costs for crypto. So it's going to be very interesting. And we also are tapping into the space by using what we call like pipeline transactions. So this is a very big innovation for Nano contracts, because usually on traditional contracts, you can only call one method for each transaction. So, okay, you either do a token transfer or you do a swap, but you cannot call, several different methods in a single transaction. Let's say you want to do a sequence of swaps. With Hathor, what we have, like we call them pipeline transactions, you're going to be able to, make a pipeline of nano contract calls. So you're going to be able to make one call after the other in a single transaction. So with that, we're tapping into what people call like this intent-based architecture, which is, okay, I'm just going to state what I want to do, and then I'll let specialized agents, specialized solvers, let's say, figure out how to do it, and they can use, pipeline transactions to create a sequence of steps and a sequence of calls to execute it within a single transaction. So let's say I want to trade young coin with new coin, but there's no liquidity pool for it. But there is a liquidity pool young coin to Diego coin, and there's a liquidity pool Diego coin to new coin. So, within a single transaction, I can swap young coin, Diego coin, and Diego coin, new coin, and yeah, it's all done atomically within a single transaction by using this, the pipeline transaction. So this one is a very interesting, innovative, I'd say, solution.
I was imagining people in the community listening to this and doing rewind to see if they have to listen it to like 3 or 4 times in order to fully understand it. It took me a lot to me in order to get it, but for sure this is unique and extremely powerful. When we were early this week presenting all the new news to the team, it was really it was an honor, and it was a true joy to see how exciting everybody was to see all these things that eventually, as Jan said, some of them will allow us to compete, to be a strong competitors in the DeFi and Web3 arena. But a couple of them, especially the last two, the intents and MEV, for sure are going to give us competitive edge. There's these things not many protocols can truly deliver. So I'm really excited to hear that, and I'm also happy to see that most of the ideas and the modifications that you are doing is coming from hearing our community needs. People who are saying, guys, I would love to create a meme coin, but I cannot because I have to deploy, or I have to put a lot of money initially, and I don't know if this is going to work or not. So I think that's also an attitude that we also have to encourage, right? For the community to keep on suggesting ideas, projects, and always helping us to be better. Because even though we are very, very busy all the time, we always find time to listen to our community. So I'm sure that they will love this as we do. And again, cannot wait to see them in real life.
Definitely.
Yeah, just gonna add, yes, very technical stuff sometimes. Definitely, we have documentation on all this. I'm sure that maybe by now some of you already have seen it. We have content on all of it. Hopefully, it helps you to understand it better. But also, I'm sure that we're gonna have Marcelo in a future video to also talk more about it in more details. We are a very technical team, so we usually have very detailed technical documents for those developers out there. And it also would be amazing to start, the discussion even with people outside of the community, other builders, about the solutions that we have, and how good they are, and even if people see some other alternatives. Also, it's going to be very interesting as we move to this new era where we are becoming more Web3, more DGen, stuff like that.
Definitely. I think also talking at the point of technical level to where we are now, we also saw this transition with nano contracts. For many years, it was a concept. It was in presentations with infographics on flow charts on how it begins, how it works. And I used to look at these and think, wow, like, what is this? And what the community is going to see, and what Diego is probably going to speak about in the next section, is where nano contracts are coming, where they are, and how you all will be able to interact with it and see it, have a face, and use it with ease. And for myself, during the private testnet phase, I'm someone who comes from a creative background, not dev native, not really great with code. But I tell you, I think out of all the team, I'm probably the nano contracts expert when it comes to demoing. And me, I'm a creative, right? And that's how easy, that's how amazing it is. So all these things Jan and Diego are talking about when it came to, Mev and front running and all these new fee structures and so on for different things are for the future of the protocol, but also it will come to a point where it will be very easy to explain and see, and it'll be very tangible in your hands. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So, Diego, I'm gonna probably hand the mic over to you for the next section. We've just to summarize, anyone who's got into this or is watching up until this point, we've just touched on nano contracts in detail with some new features and new attributes to nanos, which Jan kindly spoke about. And we just talked about the roadmap as well. And guys, probably Diego will talk more about the roadmap and the growth plan on the next section. But I'm sure at this stage, when you're watching this video, you'd be able to see the stages of the roadmap and where it is and where it's going and different stages. And I think Diego will take it from there in terms of explaining that more. So Diego, again, thanks for joining us. I'm going to give the floor to you. Now, Diego is our CMO for those who know and don't know, and he is about to talk to us about the growth plan and the whole marketing side. It's quite common in crypto and in crypto communities, especially when we're tied to price. When is the marketing? This is the marketing, guys. This is the moment. So we're now here with Diego, our CMO, and he's about to take us through the marketing plan and the growth plan. So Diego, thanks for joining us today. I've got bullet points, quite a few bullet points, and they're all great things that you've been working on, you've put together with the other C-levels like Jan, Marcelo, and so on. I'm not sure where to start, so I'm going to let you start. Tell the community about what's happening on the marketing side with the new growth plan that you've been working on recently.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for this huge introduction, Neil. I'm flattered. Actually, I think that there are a lot of things going on in Hathor and this really exciting development and projects that Jan mentioned. So we really needed to come up with a massive 360 campaign that we will be certain that we will be able to cover every growth opportunity, every touch point with our community, for them to understand in an holistic way how we are planning to deploy all these massive things that are coming in the next weeks, and most of them will be developed, tested, created during the testnet. So that's why we basically we came up with two phases of the campaign. One very, very small, which I'm sure that everybody by now have seen it, which is this teaser when we put together a countdown, which the main objective of it was basically to give time so everybody who was and who is still in the community and maybe was not following day by day what were the changes and what was going on, to give some time to really catch up, and guarantee that everybody is going to be present on the 11 to hear all this amazing package of new tech and new initiatives that we are going to launch. So I think that now is the moment to really go and tap into all of these activities that we are going to deploy all together at the same time. So I think that Jan covers everything perfect about all the potential of Nano and all the technologies that are coming ahead with Nano that are going to be publicly announced. But I think that while our team is going to be fully engaged on developing this amazing technology, we are going also to announce a grants program to guarantee that we can further accelerate our ecosystem, to bring projects that eventually will create tangible value, will drive adoption, and will offer, of course, innovative solutions. So these grant programs will have a guide, basically a guide of which we believe are relevant, trendy, and interesting projects that will definitely add a lot of value for our protocol, and for sure Nano Contract can do a great job there. So you will see the details, but I can give you a spot in each of the some of them that we are going to look for, which are basically oracles, AI, dApps. We're going to looking for Telegram mini apps, betting and prediction markets, migration and adoptions of EVM tools. That's very, very important in order to bring all the things that are working there very well to quickly bring it to our network as well. And of course, gaming and some applications related to governance and with naming services, among many others. Of course, there will be a special link in our website in the developer sections where you can apply and submit your initiatives there. It will be a Hathor committee, which will be looking and evaluating all of them. It's important that you bear in mind that we have only a 3-month window, so you can submit everything there and we can start analyzing to see which are going to be finally granted. So that's one of the things. The other additional activity, which is very much relevant for developers, is related again with one of our current reality. That is that we need more new devs in our community. Our technology now it's fully complete. It's ready to go ballistic into Web3 and start building relevant apps fully decentralized applications. So we're going to do a global online hackathon. We didn't set the date yet because we need to guarantee that all our nano contract technology is ready to do so. So at least wait a couple of weeks at the beginning of the testnet to guarantee that we don't have any major adjustment, or actually if we find some opportunity to refine it. But when we go to the hackathon, all the devs are going to be able to test and to enjoy all the potential of this technology. It's going to be with a partner. We didn't close which partner will be, but from the 3 that we are analyzing, all of them, they have a massive developer community. So this will also raise the awareness of our technology among the more technical community. So that's also a very, very important activity in our plan. And then more related to some of the new audience that we want to capture, which are more the young crypto degen enthusiasts. We are going to launch our very, very first incentivized testnet campaign. And I cannot show you and not give you much of these the details, because when you will see this video, you will be able to actually enter there and look it for yourself. But what I can say is that you will love it. It's about building the Hathor Egyptian goddess ecosystem. So it's extremely fun, it's immersive, it's interactive, and it will be focused on 3 major pillars. One of them is it's about Dozer, our very first community DEX, which is working perfectly, and it's about entering there, exploring all the features, everything that you can do. The second pillar is about testing or betting blueprint, creating your own blueprint, your own nano contract using our blueprint, and a lot of fun bets that Neil is going to be in charge of creating and managing with you guys. And last but not least, we will have a special section for the more creative, communicative, and influencers, members of our community, where you can be able to create and share your community in exchange of points that will help you to achieve a relevant spot in the leadership board at the end of the campaign. I don't know, Neil, if you want to add something, because you has been one of the leading guy here in the creation and ideation and everything. So if I'm missing something, please feel free to add it.
Sorry, I was on mute. No, honestly, you both have covered it extremely well. There's a lot to digest here in terms of, uh, I would say it's a very extended roadmap that fuses into marketing and growth and so on. It's all pretty good. And yeah, as Diego just touched on, the incentivized public testnet, it's going to be running. And it's just a part of the new era of Hathor Network. We've touched on a lot of things today. We've touched on a lot of new technologies, and Nano is just like I would say, as Jan mentioned in another call earlier, it's just like the centerpiece of what's happening. It's actually many things happening, and in our socials, it's also been linked to some sort of protocol revamp. It's a lot of things, you know. It's a Nano testnet, a protocol revamp, new tech, everything, and it all comes on the back of community feedback through satisfaction forms over the years and feedback through whether it could be advisors and just internal and as well as just learning over the years. So yeah, go on, Diego. You
One
were about to
also a very important thing, Neil, that I think that we should mention, but for sure all the community have already seen it, is how we are changing our more neutral corporate tone of voice in all our socials to a more fresh, fun, crypto degen, but proving that we can share also very relevant news and also talk about innovative technology and things to come, but in a more light and fun way. So expect more of these things, and also we always engage our community to build this type of content and engage retweeting and also again spreading the voice about all the things that are coming with this new mood that I think that our community is loving us. We are also having a lot of fun with it. And also on the other side, we will also be tapping in the more formal and well-known websites like Cointelegraph, Coindex, the blog Bankless. I'm sure we will be all present to guarantee that everybody is willing to be, everybody's going to be aware about our major revamp and how our technology is planning to occupy one of the top charts in the future. So that's
Just if I could,
basically, yeah, sorry, go
can I
ahead.
just two things? As first about the incentivized testnet campaign, I think Neil gave a spoiler about it on the Twitter Spaces with Token.com because like he was talking there, he was very excited. And he said, "Yeah, the testnet incentivized campaign." I was like, "Ah, this hasn't been
yeah.
announced yet, right?" And and the other thing is you mentioned about the new communication strategy, which is yeah very fun. You know, I was looking at our Twitter earlier this week, and I saw the NEV post. You know, and that was very interesting. And as you said, it's a fun way to bring content. There are not a lot of details because we didn't want to spoil the surprise, which is revealed now about our NEV solution, but. Yeah, I particularly like that one. You know, the like Robin Hood theme, the guy. It was like really good. Maybe we should have like a cat for Robin Hood the next one.
Yes, yes. The good thing is that this new position allow to unleash your creativity. So anyone can have an idea and say, guys, what about this?
100%.
And with good sense of humor and always trying to be fun and also send relevant messages, everything flows better.
100%. I mean, I've been in the community channels this week, and the community is 24/7 at the moment, of course, with market condition changes and also like, things happening in the world that fuel the changes in the world. And it's been nice. I think the way I've been communicating this past week has been a lot more degen than our usual neutral tone of voice being a layer one and so on. It's been nice just saying degen terms, like LFG and like FOMO, let's go. So it's something that we're all embracing. And guys, we appreciate all the feedback you've given us so far on what's to come. You guys haven't seen anything yet. Like, to be honest, we've put out a countdown. You haven't even seen what's coming yet. So Just these small shifts has gone to show that some great things are coming, even in small packages. A lot comes from it, so it's been nice to see. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think we've pretty much touched on a lot there. And by the time everyone sees this, they're going to have a lot of documentation to read through. This will be out. This will be chopped into shorts as well. Before we part ways, or if I haven't touched on anything, Diego, did you want to add anything?
No, just I was thinking that of course we are now communicating a lot of the activities that are part of a holistic pack of activities, right? So for sure, in the following weeks, we will be adding more stuff, and we have already some tactical ideas that will help us or give us a little help in order to guarantee that everybody out there is aware about our plans. I think that's we are extremely confident on what we are doing. We are extremely confident on our technology. I am extremely confident on the tech team, on Marcelo, Jan, and all the engineers. These guys are genius, are doing great technology. The ones who tap into our tech never leave, never leave. It really works very well. So I think if we keep on doing good things, keep in line with the trends, listening to our community, and developing with the same quality standards, with the same values. Of course, Hathor, it's out there for be one of the major competitors in the crypto arena, and I'm sure that it's going to be hard work, but I'm sure that it's going to be very exciting, and we are going to also have all of us a lot of fun there. So, again, for who has not yet interact with us, with our community, join. I think that the best is yet to come.
I just wanted to add, just to summarize on what Diego and Jan were speaking about. If you're a builder and you're looking to build on Hathor Network or build in general, Diego and Jan has just announced a grants program and loads of areas that we are looking for when it comes to AI dApps or it could be DeepIn projects. It could be anything. There's a long list there. I know Diego's only touched on maybe 4 or 5 things, but maybe I think there's 10, 11 plus things, name services, you name it, where Telegram and mini apps. These are just off the top of my head. So if you're looking to build a really good grants programs coming out, a guideline there as well, and the things that we want built on the network, join us. All the attributes are there. Everything's being built for you guys, especially when it comes to the monetization in terms of the fee structure. Jan already just mentioned the 70 to 30% burn rate and incentivizing back, giving back to the devs. You guys could be benefiting from this. So, look, by the time you watch this anyway, there'll be a full landing page on this. An incentivized campaign will be out, and we'll be having fun, creating bets, betting against us, creating your own bets, hosting your own events, and everything will be on chain and off chain. And the main thing that you guys will know is that by testing Nano contracts, playing with it, telling your friends you'll all be eligible for HTR rewards based on your activity. So the more activity you do, the more likely and the better reward you'll get, and share it with your friends. So I'm Neil, I'm head of community. You'll find us on Telegram, Discord, everywhere really, social media like X and so on. And Jan, our CEO and co-founder, and Diego, our CMO. You're joined by us today. I know, Diego, you gave your parting words. Jan, did you want to give any parting words before we start the new era?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned, I mean, by, using the test net and doing the activities, I mean, not only talking about HCR rewards, but you're going to be helping us to test it since it's a test net. So it's going to be very important that we really stress it. So when it comes time for mainnets, we really have, let's say, an easy and without stress, no stress launch. So yeah, I really invite everyone to come and test our technology, and I'm very excited for this new phase and then seeing what people are gonna be building. It's gonna be very, very interesting.
But guys, that's it for now. I guess over this campaign as well, which will be going for a minimum of 3 months, we'll be doing more leadership forums, more Telegram drop-ins, everything. So if you have any questions for Diego or Jan, you know, I put a message in Telegram yesterday. I said, "How nice was it, Jan, dropping by? Smash the like button if you wanted to come," and everyone smashed that like button. So I'm sure Diego's going to be dropping in as well. So guys, you'll be seeing more of them on Telegram. We'll be doing more leadership forums, some nano insights, and so on. And if there's any other types of streamer content you guys want to see, let us know, and we'll make it happen. But until the next one, thank you for dropping by. Welcome to the new era at Hathor Network. We're really excited. We're pleased. This is the eve of it. You know, by the time you see this, it would have gone live, but we're excited. There's a lot of great things coming for the end of 2024 and 2025. And guys, this is just the beginning. So stay tuned for the ride.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for joining
guys.
us.
Thank you, Nilian.
Bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye bye.